second proc on that pit and be controlled longer. Then you have follow-up from the Earth Spirit. You're going to take damage from Firestorm. You're going to be chained up, so all that damage is amplified. You have Razor with his Plasma as well, coming out dealing a lot of AoE damage. It synergizes quite nicely. The only issue I have right now with VG is that they don't really have anything that does supreme damage early on, like something that really hurts. Right now, Razor hurts. It just takes him a little bit of static linking to really hurt, so something that really lays the pain on would really tie up VG's draft quite nicely here.
Well, we're gonna see what they do choose. I mean, VG, they go for the Lina, another hero that's, you know, it's been getting a bit more popular over time, and I don't blame it. You know, it is a great hero to have, a lot of spell damage. It can essentially, you know, go into a, you know, a right-clicking style core if you really want, as we saw in a particular Na'Vi game at some stage. I'm still really worried for Rock.Y right now. Like, I realize they do have one last pickup here. It does feel like Vici have got way too much, and they do pick up the Luna. Do you see if this is, like, do you see something that's going to work really well here with that pick? I mean, ultimately it looks like VG is just going to run all over them, in all honesty, with the draft.
Yeah, the lineup is... closing out Luna is not what I expected. Sure, it gives them some much-needed push. Fairly good damage as well, but it doesn't tie up the problems in their draft all too much. I feel like in the mid lane, Meteor is going to have a pretty good time up against... Well, no, it looks like it will be Paparazzi mid with that Razor, so... If it was up against the Lina, I'd be a bit worried for VG, as, you know, Visage is very tanky early on. And up against a Lina, that shouldn't be an issue, but up against a Razor, I'm not sure how that favors Visage at all. Like, he should be able to get a little bit of damage out, maybe harass a bit with Grave Chill, but he's not going to get a kill in Razor, and Razor's not going to stop farming when you're laning up against a Visage, so I'm not sure how this works out overall for Rock. They do have the potential to do a lot of damage and push. They have fairly decent team fight, really good single target lockdown, just a bit lacking in AoE compared to VG. I mean, VG tied it up with Lina, who has a fairly good stun as well, combined with the Underlord Pit. I mean, they're being played by Lan M, the Earth Spirit being played once again by Fenrir, Lina being played by Ori, and that Underlord is being played by Old 11.
Go for a quick smoke up. Well, what 11's up to here? A rather interesting position to be in. He doesn't have any wards on him, so he's just going to stick around in the trees. I'm wondering, like, what is he looking for here? He could possibly, I guess... I was going to say maybe he could try and pull a creep wave, but I don't know what he would do it for. I mean... Well, that's a good point. Someone's drawn the line. Is that you drawing the line, John?
Yes, that is me, Mike.
Thank you.
It's just you and me in our channel, so yes, that's me. He could be going for an early pull, maybe around that area or this area. Around about here, around about here. So he is going for that, so he's just wanting to get himself a double wave when he's back in lane, which is fairly good for Underlord. You do want your fast level 3, I want to say, is when you're stable in lane, so getting that fast by having yourself get a double wave is pretty nice. And it does make Luna struggle to last hit. She does have to kind of cop the damage from the creeps or last in your tower, and Luna does not have great base damage, so it's going to be a rough time for her.
Well, John, it's just like you said, the double wave is on its way for 11. Gonna have a nice little time. Jintoki gonna struggle a bit. like you mentioned, like he's not going to have the easiest time trying to get last hits under the tower. And as well as that, the damage he's going to copy is a bit too much. And I mean, he's got the 3 tangos, he's got the salve. Should be alright. But ultimately 11 going to have a nice little push coming his way. IO is there to try and help out. Level 1 Night Stalker can't really do too much against an Underlord. 11 has really stacked up in terms of regen. But he will be alright for a while. Win that stat shield as well. Gets lucky with a bit of block damage. And here comes that creep wave all the way to the tier 1 tower. So not the greatest start for Rock.Y, but a nice little play from VG. We move over to the mid lane as well. Ori. He's up against Meteor and then the Sergeant. I mean, we thought it was going to be Paparazzi in the mid lane. That is not the case. Ori will take over. Ultimately though, will Meteor really be able to shut out this laner either?
It's a bit easier for Vici to do work against Lina. At the very least, he won't be zoned out as badly as compared to laning against Razor, as he can cop, as you saw, he can cop a lot of that Dragon Slave damage, mainly because Cloak early on is pretty strong. Gives him enough instances to just cop the damage quite nicely, so you should have an easier time laning here. The problem is, they are also dedicating Hitagi in this lane, which is feel a bit unnecessary. The Vici should have an okay time one-on-one. Like, the Bane could probably be helping the side lanes a bit better, but looks like they really want to give Meteor a good start here.
They don't want a repeat of game 1, and that's absolutely fair enough. Top lane as well, Polaris versus Paparazzi. You mentioned in the draft screen, you can't really stop a Razor from farming, especially in these 1v1 matchups. That is the case. Like, Paparazzi, top of the last hits board right now, having a great old time. Looks like Hitagi will actually take your advice and move over to the side lanes a bit. We'll chase down Fenrir, but Earth Spirit, of course, a very, very hard hero to catch. We'll back off successfully. It's very rare as well. In fact, hold on one moment, because Polaris copying a lot of damage, but he will end up backing off. They will actually try to get him with the Fatal Bonds, but he is already in the fountain. Will be perfectly fine. What I was going to mention is old 11, you know, he's beating the Luna in last hits right now, 12 to 10. It's just not very often you see offlaners do this well up against the safe lane, 1v1. And in fact, they are going to jump on old 11. He's a very, very tanky kind of core, and he will make it out before the body block. A nice attempt. They couldn't actually get in range to put the sleep on either. But Hitagi will actually stick around. He will have range now. 11 though, I don't think they can kill him even if they get the sleep off, and they won't even bother. And it does worry me a bit for Rock.Y. Like, 11 is getting way too much in this offlane.
Yeah, he definitely is, and Underlord as a hero isn't too hard to zone out, but if you give him a start like this, he starts to get a bit silly in lane. When he has a level advantage over the safe lane, it's pretty hard. Like, he's just gonna drop Firestorm, clear out wave, get it pushing in, and then, you know, just soak XP, get a few last hits, and just really make lasting hell for Jintoki on this Luna. And he really is having a hard time. You don't want to see your Luna this shut down early on.
11 just gonna stick around. There's just nothing they can do about him. That seems like the real issue, right? Like, you put him to sleep, maybe you have the Night Stalker there to help out, but ultimately it just feels like he's just too tanky to deal with anyway. Unless you maybe have the Eclipse available, but Jintoki is only level 4. It's going to be a while till they can get that going. Meanwhile, mid lane, they will jump onto Meteor, but they will end up backing off as soon as the TP comes in from the Bane, and now here comes IO. Fenrir will be the target. The Soul Assumption comes in, but not enough damage quite yet. Fenrir, he will end up going down and giving first blood away to IO. Now Hitagi will be the target. In fact, that Fatal Bonds is dealing a lot of damage to Meteor. He will end up being safe. LanM still trying to deal a bit more damage to this Bane and hope for a nice little Fatal Bonds kill, but it won't be the case. And so Rock.Y will end up finding first blood, and a nice one at that as well, because the Night Stalker does need those early kills during the first night.
Yeah, that's definitely a good start to the first night for this Night Stalker. He wasn't getting too much out of the Luna lane, he wasn't getting too much XP as well, so that gives him a nice little boost. And now it looks like the supports are rotating top, trying to contest this Razor, who's had free run on this lane, 2 levels ahead of the Sand King.
Yeah.
And he is getting way too much from this lane, so trying to apply some pressure there. I'm not sure if they can do anything. The lane is a bit too pushed in for that to happen, but looks like they will try. Maybe just drop a couple of wards to make it harder for Razor to do anything too cheeky.
Well, you're not lying about the farm. I mean, he's 41-23. They will go back to that mid lane and try to take down Ori. The slow will start it off. Io is there with the Void. Nice stun comes out before the Void though. And Ori still running off. I hear an Earth Spirit coming in, but he's nowhere near. Now the Boulder Smash will actually connect on the 3. Ori, the damage is too much. They do take down one, but they get Luna, or Lino I should say, in the end. Paparazzi trying to get Io, and he will barely get him. Benry now making the chase. Meteor, he will get rolled on. There's just nowhere to go. He is still pretty tanky, but with Paparazzi there, it's just not tanky enough. The Shrine will be there just in time. Hitagi puts Razor to sleep. Now the Boulder Smash will connect onto only one. The Burrow Strike, I should say. Paparazzi, he will end up dropping. So a nice rotation coming out from Rock.Y. And we do sit at a 3-2. But that was a lot worse than it had to be from Rock.Y. Like, everything looked good for them, but then you had the Earth Spirit, Fenrir, the 3-man Boulder Smash, as well as Paparazzi coming in with the static link and that ulti, and it was just so much damage to be really dealt to Rock.Y. And I mean, ultimately, yes, they got Paparazzi in the end, but they lost a lot for it.
Yeah, they definitely lost a lot. They committed a lot of resources for that as well, so a lot of their TPs are on cooldown. If VG decides to do anything cheeky, they won't be able to respond. Because, you know, within the next minute, all those TPs are still refreshing, so it's going to be a hard time. I feel like VG right now need to slow down the pace just a bit, because it is nighttime, and Night Stalker is kind of scary at night. So maybe just pull back a little bit, get a little bit more farm on your Lina, who's been struggling a bit in this mid lane, and kind of try to get 11 to cop a bit more of the attention, which he is now.
Yeah, they will start with the Void, but he does have the raindrops available. Sleep is there, but Paparazzi comes in now. The roll in, Fenrir will connect with the Rock. There's the Eclipse. Will it deal enough damage? Paparazzi is quite low, but the Laguna Blade coming up from Ori out of nowhere. And the double kill onto the Luna as well as the Night Stalker. Paparazzi will just salve up, and I mean, they just look so close, but BG, understanding how much damage was going to come out, they really pushed their heroes to the limit in that little team fight. They'll find themselves a tier 1 now.
Yeah, and it should be a fairly simple T1 to take. I mean, the only 2 TPs are on Luna and Sand King right now, but Sand King doesn't even have Epicenter level just yet. He is 6, just hit level 6. Should have that Epicenter up soon, but not quite yet.
Mid lane, 11 was pushing, but Io is there with Jintoki. Can they find this kill? Almost the Lucent Beam. Not dealing quite enough damage. It was a max level Lucent Beam, but they weren't willing to chase any further. It's a bit hard. You don't want to really risk the life of your Luna for this. 11, he'll just roll back in now. Io is still around the area, but it almost looks like a bit of a bait coming up from old 11, and it almost was. Lan M, he was in the background waiting. Fenrir was within roll range, and nice little decision from Rock.Y not to initiate.
Yeah,
and Meteor as well. I mean, he's got the Medallion of Courage now. His farm is going, I would say it's a bit better than last time, you know, in terms of timing. They can always go for like a very early Roshan with this Medallion, as well as the Familiars and the Luna with her aura. Question is, will BG allow it though?
Yeah, I mean, timing's good on the Medallion, definitely. How he itemizes after is really crucial. Does he go for the early Solar Crest? Does he go for some utility in a Force Stab? Does he try to rush his Aghanim's? Vici is a very open-ended kind of hero, and how you itemize really dictates how you play the rest of the game. He's really dependent on that, and your skill build. He did go for max Gravekeeper, so he's trying to be a bit tankier in front line, but that means he doesn't do too much damage. He's going to have to focus on using those Familiars to really pump out the DPS, but level 1 Familiars at this point still level 7 on the Visage compared to Lina, who's a full level ahead and looks to widen that lead. It's not good. You kind of want to be ahead as the Visage. You really want a lot of XP on your side and a modest amount of farm.
You know, John, one thing we haven't really talked about in terms of drafting, I mean, we did say VG probably had the stronger draft, right? But ultimately, if we're talking late game, it does feel like Rock.Y will have maybe a bit of an advantage. Like, the Luna does scale a lot better than the Razor does.
I feel like it's not
on top lane. They've gone up to Fenrir right now, the double stun, and it's a nice little easy kill. Polaris will pick that one up, and I apologize for interrupting. What were you saying?
I feel like it's not too big of an issue going late game for VG. Granted, they are going up against Luna. At the same time, they are, you know, it's also an issue for Rock.Y because they'd be going late game with a Vici, who's a very mid-game oriented hero. I mean, your familiars do get scary once you have your Agnus with 4 familiars, your 3 familiars, or 4 3 familiars. You are pretty scary, but your familiars can only do so much damage. At a certain point, they're not going to be as scary as they would be. So, and the Sand King as well. Once you have BKBs up, he's not too big of an issue. So, you kind of want to hit that timing on Rock.Y much more than VG does. I feel like VG's heroes don't scale amazingly well, but in the late game, with the right items, they can deal with Rock.Y easily.
Well, they have found the Warlock bot lane. LAN-M. He does have the Golem available. Will he drop it? It looks like he's thinking about it. The Fatal Bomb did come out. He just delays it as much as he can, and he will let it go. Looks like the side of VG were just not interested at all in trying to take that team fight, even though it did feel like they had the position to do so. Fenrir. You haven't seen too much more of him this game. He's been a bit quiet. He's waiting around in that mid lane, and it does feel like Rock.Y does want to push with these familiars, as well as the fact that, you know, you've still got that Luna, but she's going to prioritize a bit of farm. Got that Mask of Manus up now. They just bought it out with that Morbid Mask. T1 will be under siege, but all the heroes from VG are sitting in the trees waiting. Of course, Old 11 will be on those front lines. And again, Rock.Y, they're just not going to take it. Like, they understand they do not want a 5-on-5 team fight. They want to find pickoffs and then find towers. They will rotate to the top lane, but Ori will disappear from there as well. He'll rotate to his own jungle on the right. And again, like you did just say, like, they need to find a better timing than the side of VG. But it doesn't really feel like it's working out that way. It's a bit too even for Comfort. Like 5-4, not the best of news.
Yeah, definitely not. I feel like if there's a time for Rock.Y to act, it should be now. It is nighttime. They have about 2 minutes left for that period. So they really want to maximize this Night Stalker and try to find some objectives, maybe a few kills while night is up. Although it looks like VG's playing really smart compared to the first night where they just kept throwing bodies. VG's finally slowing down the pace during nighttime, and that's what they really need to do. That's all they need to do up against a Night Stalker, really.
Very clever indeed. The night will be ending soon as well.
Dire's top tower.
Like Io still trying to find somebody.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
See them in the mid lane. LAN-M almost baiting himself out. 11. They'll know where he is as well. Can they make the jump? There's the Epi coming in from Polaris and the blinking. Where's the burrow? It's only onto LAN-M right now. The bottle smash comes up. There's the Pit of Malice as well. LAN-M still alive through all this, but they will end up taking him out, but they do everything for that. Now Polaris still be the target. They'll chase him down. The bottle smash was not there in time. The burrow strike, but now there it is. They traded a Sand King for a Warlock. A lot of ultis went out for that kill as well, and now Meteor will be the target. Paparazzi will get started. He does not have Static Link available right now, but that tier 1 does look juicy for them. They will take it very easily, it looks like, and they're just looking for more kills. Like, they realize the tier 1's already gone. They're just looking to see if anyone else is going to stick around, and they really don't. So a trade onto LAN-M for the Sand King. Not the best of news again, John, and maybe a bit. It felt a bit weird. Like, you had the epicenter going, you blinked in, you didn't really find the burrow you wanted, and I believe they even fiend script for that onto LAN-M. Like, it was a bit much for that position 5 kill.
Yeah, definitely is. I mean, I can understand why you'd want that. You really want to stop LAN-M from dropping the rock. If he dropped it in the middle of that fight, it would have turned out much worse for Rock.Y. At the same time, you commit 2 ultimates. onto a position 5 Warlock who doesn't even have brown boots yet. I mean, it's just kind of wild here, dumping that much resources into that.
Well, they will find Ori at the top lane, so that's a nice pickup from Jintoki. He did commit the Eclipse for that, but that's fair enough. Now the silence off the Bane, they will rotate around and try to go for this, and VG. Burrowstrike comes in from Polaris, it is onto 2, but it's not enough to save the Bane, although they will turn this around. Io, the Golem has been dropped onto 3. Where's the damage though? I hear an Underlord, where's the Uber? It's completely gone already. Fenrir, he does end up dropping as well. Meanwhile, Io still in a lot of trouble, and he will end up dropping. In fact, that was Jintoki that dropped. Io is backing off successfully. Paparazzi is not going to let this go. They know exactly where he is. 11 misses the Firestorm, but sees the Night Stalker. Silence is there. They might just give up on him.
The tower is under attack.
Yeah, they definitely managed to turn it around. They dropped Ori fairly early on, but they managed to turn it around, take out the Luna, who's very key to the momentum of our Rock.Y, and once that happened, I think it definitely stopped being worthwhile once they lost their Luna. I mean, you really want your Luna to be far ahead here. It's really what they're depending on to take early objectives and team fights, and when you're dropping this often, it's not a good sign.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
The side of VG, they will take that tier 1 top back off successfully again. So all tier 1 towers are off the map now for the side of Rock.Y. Problem with that, of course, for the Radiant side is the map control just disappears. Just allows VG to take any team fight they want, really anywhere they want around the map. 11 gets caught out mid lane, has been put to sleep, but nobody really wants to initiate on this. There will be a smoke right behind him, so he's trying to bait something out. Have they done the Luna? Yes, they have. The stun is there, and they just melt her. Completely gone, and now Paparazzi going to continue the chase. Polaris is there. Paparazzi not really scared of anyone right now. Who are they going to go for? They find the Sand King. There's the blink back. The silence was not there in time. Polaris still has the Burrow Strike. Will commit it as well, but the Boulder Smash did connect. And now, can they deal the damage? It looks like he is a bit too fast. Although Ori wants to keep going, but there's the sleep onto the Lina. Now they're rolled in, and this is a very strange team fight. Fenrir with a double Boulder again. Peter Mallows, Hitagi will end up dropping. And I mean, that angle on that rock was pretty darn beautiful.
It really was, and Fenrir is really doing a lot of work. The past 2 games, just the initiation and starts from Fenrir have been pretty damn solid, like pretty rock solid, I'd want to say, Mike.
Thank you, sir.
Radiant's
Thank you,
top
John.
tower has fallen.
I appreciate your pun, John.
Ah, thank you.
They will rotate around. VG. Will they go for a quick Roshan now? Looks like they're thinking about it. No, Paparazzi. He will go to that bot lane. Start farming up even more. He's got those drums. He's going. In fact, he's got the full BKB now in his stash. And he's going for that Hurricane Pike next. I'm a bit surprised. I thought they might try and sneak the Roshan, but it just seems like they're not interested. And I suppose with their lineup, they're not the fastest Roshan takers in the world with these heroes.
Yeah, definitely not. I mean, Razor does alright in team fights, but when he's not static linking someone, he has pretty abysmal damage, so it's not a very fast Roche clear. Lina as well, pretty decent, but again, not amazing in clearing out Roche, so probably a smart move for them, especially considering that nighttime was going to be up in a minute, and you know, with everyone back up, looks like Rock.Y wants to make a move.
They do want to make a move, but they run up towards the jungle. Again, VG, they're sticking together in that mid lane. In fact, no, they're making a rotation now. 11 jumps into the Roche pit. Jumps back out. So both teams kind of miss each other. But this will be a wasted smoke attempt from Rock.Y. And now they do actually know where Io is. The silence, the stun as well. Now the Firestorm and the Pit of Malice. Very easy kill onto Io. And this tier 2, not going to last very long at this stage. It looks like Rock.Y are trying to make a split push themselves, but they're not even close to that tier 2 yet.
Yeah, it looks like it should be fairly straightforward for VG. I don't think they even mind if they lose the top tower. They're just going to go for the T3 straight up.
Well, they've got a 10-second BKB on Paparazzi. have not used it quite yet. Meteor will TP in. They appear to safely back off. The T2 top is under attack, but Paparazzi will just TP up and start farming himself, so they don't lose anything for that little push onto the T3. It does really flaunt the strength of this team. They are very far ahead. 5k net worth to the way of VG. You look at 11 and he's just farmed way too much. Like, he's got that full pipe. He's going for the full assault, I should say Crimson Guard. Like, it's just so much damage reduction coming out from this Underlord. It's like, what the hell do you even do in a team fight anymore?
Yeah, it's going to be very hard to kill anyone off once that Crimson Guard's up. The Luna's not going to have an easy time trying to, trying to right-click people down with that guard up, and looks like VG will get a very, very easy Roshan here as Rock.Y is on the exact opposite side of the map.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to come in and defend this. The TPs are on cooldown anyway. There was a ping onto that T3 mid tower. Roshan now is gone, and it still does remain. The 10-second BKB is available. Paparazzi just picks himself up a 4-staff as well. He will courier that out. Rock.Y. I mean, they're going to take that tier 1 bot. Nice little pick up from them. Can they defend this though? Level 2 Eclipse is available on the Luna. There's a lot of pressure on Jintoki right now. A nice little Burrow Strike from Polaris, but it's only onto old 11. Meteor going to get started, but again, there's just really no damage that the Underlord's taking. And they're going to start on the melee racks. VG just waiting very calmly for them to try and initiate, but it looks like Rock.Y is just going to let this go. They will Burrow Strike again. The Boulder Smash, now Paparazzi ready to get started, and Undy is pretty much still full HP, now halfway, but the pipe is used. Eclipse comes in now. This might be too much for old 11, although no, he's still alive through all this. Still walking out. Now the gold drop as well. It was onto 3, but they do get the Underlord, although they lost the Luna and their racks, for that matter, so still not the best trade in the world for Rock.Y. Fenrir, Boulder Smash will connect. The Familiars as well, just going down. In fact, one of them ends up surviving. No, the Plasma Field will get him. That's just a free racks given to the way of VG. They will leave the range one alone for the time being. It looks like Polaris will try to make some kind of stun happen, but VG always seem to be ready to turn around. I mean, the Golem is still up as well. And I suppose it's a smart choice of Rock.Y not to initiate after the racks is gone. But again, it's just so surgical from VG right now. Like, they're just not overextending. They're just taking everything off the map. And Henry has now found IO as well. He's going to have his teammate Ori come in at the bot lane, and this will be just a dead Mind Stalker again. The Yules is there, the stun. He's connected, Boulder Smash, the silence. It's all too much. Laguna Blade, very easy kill. The Bloodstone is now up on Ori as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's really rough for Rock right now. They didn't expend Epicenter there. I don't think there was a good opportunity for Polaris to really start channeling, as they needed him to constantly Burrow Strike and disrupt the movement of VG. But they also need him to deal the damage with Epicenter, which just didn't come out there. That fight actually cost Rock.Y quite a fair bit. That defense cost him quite a fair bit. The Visage had to resummon his Familiars because they were split pushing the bot lane, trying to apply pressure to that T3. After he resummoned them, you saw what happened. He basically got fed to Paparazzi, so he's going to be without Familiars for about 20 seconds more, which is very big. It slows down his farm, it slows down his lane pressure, and as a Visage, you really don't want to lose your Familiars while your resummon is on cooldown.
Definitely not the optimal thing you want to happen, but he will have them up in just a moment. In fact, now he does. Getting himself about halfway there. VG not going to make the push any further. Paparazzi does end up going to the top lane to ensure that creep wave does not go towards the T3. He does have that full Hurricane Pike now, I believe. Like, yeah, it's on the courier. He'll bring it out. In fact, is there a team fight going on? Fenrir is there at the bot lane. Smoke is broken and Fenrir actually playing around with them right now. 11 is there as well as Ori on the laner. They are going to try and take down this Earth Spirit and they will do so successfully. Now Underlord, he will be held in play. He will use the ulti. The Pit Malice is there as well. Can they deal the damage? Yes, they can. He'll finally go down. Now Ori's been caught out as well. Polaris gonna make the chase. He will let him go. That was interesting position to say the least. Like, they stuck around the bot lane, but it was only 3 of them. Banham wasn't there as well. Artsy. Maybe a bit of overconfidence coming out from VG.
Yeah, it does feel like that. I'm not sure what they hope to achieve in that lane after taking that T2 once their major damage dealer and and their AoE control from LANM just disappeared, but a bit of a costly mistake. At the very least, they don't lose the Aegis and they don't lose Ori on that Lina, so not a big loss, but still a nice little farm injection for Rock.Young.
They will roll in. Benry. Not find the Sank. Was very close.
Radiant's top shrine is under attack.
Both teams being very patient right now. The Aegis did end up spying onto Ori, so they will back off, understanding that it's not the optimal time for them to have a go. The Roshan still about 2.5 minutes before we even know when it will respawn. This should be a relatively quiet period, I believe, John. Like, I mean, there's Aegis is gone, Roshan's still a long way to go. We've seen VG, they're very clever in the sense that they never overextend. Unless you count that bot engagement we just saw, but apart from that, they don't tend to overextend. In fact, I was saying it was going to be quiet, but they smoke up immediately. 5v5 it looks like. Rock.Young, are they going to smoke up as well? They all grouped up here. In fact, no, they're not going to, but they realize all here is missing. It's time to sit in the base and just relax a bit. VG goes straight past the creep wave. Oh, that familiar caught them out. The passive from the Razor actually ended up connecting the unstable current. And now who have they found? It will be the Sanking, but the Burrow Stroke is there. Fatal Bonds will connect. Now the sleep onto the Underlord, old 11. It's a really, it's going to upset you a bit if you're Paparazzi. That unstable current hits the familiar and essentially rules the smoke of your team.
Yeah, pretty much. That's the one issue with Razor. Unstable current isn't toggleable, so if you walk inside range, and it's a pretty long range autocast. It's actually kind of ridiculous how long the range is. You're gonna pop a smoke every once in a while when you read.
It sounds rather unstable, John. Well, they are gonna fight 11. Excuse me for a moment. They will force him out. So the smoke already broken from Rock.Young as well. Both teams not having the best time with smokes at the moment. I mean, he throws the Lucent Beam, but it literally does nothing. Like, old 11 just doesn't mind at all. Oh, the Epic comes out, but Polaris, he didn't blink in quiet. Now he will onto 2. It might actually be good. The Fiend's grip is on the Paparazzi, but the kickback, they can't actually get him. Old 11 will be the target, but he'll just walk out of there. He's scot-free. The Golem is dropped onto 3 at the moment. Ori, meanwhile, they'll find Io, and he will end up dropping, it looks like. And meanwhile, 11 did end up dropping. Finally, Paparazzi going to turn around and fight this with the BKB. They're going after Jintoki. Can they get the damage? The Boulder Smash will not end up connecting. Now the roll away as well. And Polaris, Burrow Strike onto 2. And now, well, they deal a fair bit of damage to Paparazzi. The Spirit Vessel as well, ticking him down slowly. Benry's still trying to back off, and they're diving pretty far for this. Ori will be the target. He tries to save his teammate, and he essentially does. But he gives his own life away for it. And they keep going. Benry will be the next target. The silence is there. And that was a very, very long team fight. And I mean long as in distance, not time. I mean, they just ran across the whole map trying to find those kills. And Rock.Young, I've got to admit, John, I'm a bit surprised they actually found so much engagement.
Yeah, they're definitely getting a fair bit back from what they've been losing out on, but unfortunately, I don't think this will really translate to too many objectives. Sure, they take the T1 mid, but that's the T1 mid at 30 minutes in, so you were you were supposed to take that anyway. They won't be able to get too much after, and Vici just lost his familiars again. He does have one left thanks to that Aghanims, but you know, his resummons off for about a minute. That's a lot of damage disappearing from the Visage. So it's still not the cleanest fight for Rock.Y, but at the very least they managed to get 2 pickoffs and clear out that T1 mid, which they've probably, you know, it's been giving a lot of control to VG, giving a lot of easy Roche access as well. So taking that out definitely helps them out, and it gives him a nice little opportunity to try to farm back up. The Luna's starting to get a bit scary now, working onto that butterfly as well. So starting to be a bit of an issue with how far ahead Jintoki is compared to the Razor. The Razor definitely needs to play a little bit of catch up now.
John, why do Rock.Y not, like, they don't seem to like getting BKBs. Jintoki still doesn't have one. I'm looking at this. He's going for a butterfly, which is perfectly fine. But is that really the correct decision over the BKB? Like, Ori is hitting like his spells are doing a lot of damage.
Well, you know, Mike, some people like playing on the edge. I think it works out well enough for Rock.Y. It's not as pertinent as it was to buy a BKB in Game 1. Game 1, they definitely needed Jintoki to get a BKB over the Linking Sphere early on, I feel. Mainly because there wasn't much real single target spells that VG had anyway, besides the Shadow Demon. In this game though, I feel like you could get away without getting the BKB as a Luna. I mean, once you pop your R, once you pop Eclipse, and your Mask of Madness, you really don't care. And she has enough lifesteal to really just recoup during any time she's silenced. They don't have too hard lockdown. Every time they do use some lockdown, it's usually on other heroes. It's not the Luna getting caught out. So I think she's in the perfect spot to just kind of become a glass cannon.
Oh, and he gets caught out, and here comes Fenrir with a beautiful kick back and the Glimmer Cape. My god. That was absolutely fantastic. Fenrir showing us why the hero is so damn popular. Now the Roshan will be the target. Polaris ready to go in. The smoke will come out from the side of Rock.Y, but VG appear to be baiting this out. Although there will be a loop around now. Rock.Y, they want to get a massive team fight under their belt. The Eclipse is available. The Familiars, where are the Familiars? They're not, oh, they are there, but it is on cooldown in case they do end up dropping during the team fight. So Epi comes in. Fenrir will be the target. They want to get rid of this, although the Yules is there. Now the Plasma Sword comes in. Not enough damage quite yet. 11 will be the target. Apparently another Golem drops in with the Pit of Malice. Meteor will be the, well, he'll be a target, although Sand King didn't end up dropping. He will fire back. They're going to try again. Fenrir is the only one that's low on VG right now. And he will jump in with the Boulder Smash. He will go onto the Night Stalker, and Io is going to be the target of the beautiful Yules again. Although 3-man stun comes out from the side of Rock.Y. Can they deal with damage? The Pit of Malice is there. The Laguna Blade, Meteor, throwing out those Soul Assumptions. Everyone is still so healthy right now. Ori, he will BKB. Now the Burrow is off to 2. Polaris trying to do what he can. 11 uses the ulti, but it's not enough. Lan M will be the next target, and he should just end up dropping, and he will. Ori trying to run, but Polaris will find him in Jintoki. Well, again, John, another very prolonged team fight. In fact, Ori, he will deny himself. Nice little deny from him. A very prolonged team fight, John. But 4 end up dropping from the side of VG. And, you know, at the start of the team fight, you didn't think that was going to happen, right? Like, you thought everything's going well. The Sand King's dropped. He just fought back. VG, knowing them, you would think they'd probably back off and play it safe, because they did have time to back out of that team fight. But instead, they took it. And now they're going to try and go for the Roshan contest. But they're only 3 heroes at the moment. They will find Io, but the double Burrow comes in from Polaris. And these buybacks may be wasted. Double Yules comes out. They'll fly together. Polaris trying to back off. And oh my, Paparazzi left alone. Oh, the Boulder Smash onto 3 again from Fenrir. Lan M gonna try and back off, but Paparazzi just got his ass saved. Thanks to Fenrir. Now Polaris will be the one that tries to back off. Roshan getting so low. The Familiars coming to try and help out. And Paparazzi comes back into all this. Polaris so low. The Magnetize will tick him down. Io trying to help out his Bane right now. Hitagi, they might be able to find Fenrir, but they won't mind. Roshan is still not down through all this. Ori, he's copping too much. He'll have to back off. And now Luna still alive, still trying to find a nice little position to re-engage Paparazzi. He won't mind re-engaging. He's got 227 stolen damage right now. One hit would take out Jintaki, but he will not find it. The Familiar saving his life. Hitagi cops a hit, but he'll be fine. They're concentrating more on the Familiars right now. And, well, not only that, but of course the Roshan, which is very, very low. Scouting is there. Who is there to try and snipe it? It is only Io. He's not going to be able to do it by himself, although he would. Looks like he was going to run in for it. But the Aegis does eventually get to VG, and apparently the buybacks and Roshan contest was worth it.
Yeah, it definitely was. I feel like it's very pertinent for either side to get Roshan at this point. I mean, it's not looking too good for VG. They've tapered off and farmed for their cores. All of their cores are behind Luna right now, which is not a great spot to be at, especially when Luna is this big. So you're gonna have a rough time trying to deal with her. The Visage is now very tanky. Like you've seen it happen when they start in the Visage. The Lina, you know, what tends to happen is Ori blows all his spells, including Laguna Blade, and does very little to no damage to Meteor in that initial part. So it's starting to be hard to deal with the damage dealers of Rock.Y. They still have ways of doing it.
I mean, Rock.Y just coming back from what looked like it really looked like there was no chance. In my honest opinion, like the draft was too good from VG. You know, everyone was farming way too well on the Dire side, but it's like you mentioned, now the Luna, top of the net worth, and starting to hit very hard, getting very hard to kill. This is going to be very concerning for VG. We'll see what they can do. There has been quite a few overextensions though from the Dire end, so we'll see if they do try and maybe go back to their, you know, much more orthodox style of finding a pick off and backing off, and maybe getting a Rax and backing off. See if Rock.Y is even going to allow that. Mind you, the Aegis is on the side of VG as well as the Cheese, but it feels like Rock.Y are the aggressors right now. That was the...
Yeah, definitely so.
That was the second Roshan, wasn't it? So no refresher side is available.
Yeah, not quite yet. I feel like when that third Roshan is up, the refresher should go to Lan M or Paparazzi. Like, power of a double static link on your Razor and two instances of Eye of the Storm is really strong. So once that's up, I feel like it's definitely down to both teams to contest it.
Yeah, I mean, Rock.Y they really can't allow that to be given away. And I'm sure they will not allow it. You know, they'll try and at least contest it. There will be a smoke. Rock.Y. Who are they going to find first? Old 11 again is on the front lines always, and he will break the smoke. Io, he gets a bit of metal stuff. Ori, where's the stun? It's not there in time. The boulder smash as well misses. The Familiars scouting out who's there, and they'll know the whole team. Polaris, a lot of this is on him to make an amazing Burrow Strike initiation. See if he can find it. Double damage rune is about to wear off on Jintaki. But it doesn't look like they're ready to back off quite yet. In fact, VG are going to start moving forward now. Who's going to initiate on who? 11 again, front lines. The roll in. Oh, the Earthquake. He does end up finding two. And the three-man boulder smash again. Now the stuns come out and they want the Visage gone. And he is. Meanwhile, Paparazzi trying to run away from Jintaki right now. Although Jintaki left alone. There's the use. The BKB is completely gone. The boulder smash comes in and he's gone. So two down for the side of Rock.Y, one for the side of VG. Although there will be a buyback from the Visage, but Bane is gone as well. So you've got the Visage back up with the buyback, but it doesn't even feel like VG want to take a fight right now. Like, no, they are rotating to that top lane. Polaris will begin creep skipping in the mid, but I don't think that's going to matter too much. Like, he's going to be there to defend the top lane right now.
yeah, it's gonna be a really hard defense, especially since Luna doesn't have buyback, which is surprising for me. I mean, I know that the butterfly is key, but at this point you probably want to save for buyback more. You weren't having too many issues killing him anyway. It's rather surprising that Luna does not have buyback, and it looks like it will get another peak here.
What quick Yules coming out, and what Butterfly come out onto the side of VG. The Sand King is still in big trouble. He's just getting cycloned up constantly. Can they take him out? He does end up getting 4-staffed. He will be alright for the time being. Meteor gonna try his best to defend. They have 15 seconds left for the Luna, and here comes 11 with the ulti, and they do all get out. Nice little 4-staff play onto already try and get him out of that range, but it was not successful. And so the only thing left is that bot Rax. The tier 3 not even there to defend it anymore, and they will just essentially shrine up. In fact, no, they haven't even used the shrine. They'll just reset and go back in. The Roshan is still a fair while away. We're going to find out in about 2.5 minutes where it is. Looks like bot lane will be the target. They found Meteor again. This is going to be a dieback if he does go down. Fatal Bonds does come out. Now Paparazzi as well as the Yules come out. They need to protect Meteor, but there's just no one around. The Pit of Malice is there. He's just so tanky, but it's not going to be enough. The Laguna Blade was committed. And that is a very unfortunate dieback for Rock.Y. That is exactly what they didn't need right now. And although Luna is available and the Eclipse is coming off cooldown, I'm not sure if this is going to be enough. They will start with the burst. Like Paparazzi will be the target again. The Pit of Malice comes out as well as the Plasma. Familiars keeping Lena stunned into place. Boulder Smash from Fenrir again onto 2. But Rock.Y not really committing to this quite yet. There's the Yules as well. They might go for this. The Epi comes in the background. Double Burrow Strike, but it's not enough quite yet. Paparazzi, he's been Fiend's Grip, and he will go down, but already chases for Jintoki, and he will get it. So a 2-for-2 trade. 11 going to try and back off safely, although they may turn this around. The Pit of Malice does go down. They will actually go for Lan first. Henry is still around. Boulder Smash. No, the silence was there first. Now the double Boulder. Golem is actually dropped. It was held this whole time. The Aeon Disc comes out from Polaris. Lan in a bit of trouble. Now the Burrow Strike. And they will actually manage to take out the position 5 of VG. Henry, he'll be the next target. The Pit of Malice is there onto 2. Now the kick out. Hitagi will end up going down. And this is a very strange team fight. The Burrow Strike comes out onto 2 again. 11, Firestorm, Fenrir. The ulti has been committed by 11. And oh my, he actually jumps out of it. Fenrir getting a bit cocky himself. He has no rocks left on. He can't roll out of this one. Oh my, John, if you're gonna do that, for all the Earth Spirit players out there, if you're gonna do that, make sure you have at least one rock available to roll out of there.
That was pretty interesting to see. I mean, you saw 11 charge up his ultimate, and then you saw Fenrir was in range. Then he decided, no, I'm gonna try to go for more here, which would have been big. I think he could have picked out the Night Stalker if he had a Spirit Vessel. Unfortunately, he only had an urn. But if he had that Spirit Vessel, I think the damage from that one is big enough to at least take out the Night Stalker. Maybe. But yeah, rather interesting. I think it didn't really matter much in the end if Fenrir died or not. They got what they wanted. They prolonged the fight long enough. And you know, they're mega creeps now. Only one T4 standing for Rock.Y, and really pushed up against the wall now for Rock.Y. They definitely, I think for them to turn this around, they need to secure Roach for themselves. Absolutely. They cannot go without contesting that. If they just decide to give it away, I don't see them managing to turn a team fight around at this point.
I mean, the Roach is going to be a hard target to go for. Looks like they are the one right now. So they're saying screw the X for the Rapier. I mean, it's the only thing they can go for. They're mega creep. They've been turtle for a while. They've got to have a way to defend. I suppose the Luna with the Divine will help quite a lot. And ultimately, you know, go back from a mega creep push. It feels like you need that crazy pure damage.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't disagree with you. I think it's one very straightforward way for them to take this, and it's definitely all in. It's not like they have a lot to lose now. Their backs are against the wall, So, you know, the gloves have to come off, and the rapier is a good response to that. But my one issue is that 11 already has his halberd. So if he can just walk up to the Luna when she has that, you know, once that rapier's up, if it comes up in time, I'm not sure if it's going to have the impact they want in a team fight. Sure, it's going to help a lot in clearing out these mega creeps, but in a team fight, I'm fairly certain 11 got the halberd already just for Luna. Adding to the fact that Luna's going to go for a divine, it's really going to do that much more work here.
It is, you know, it is a good point. Like, the halberd is already there, so it's like if 11 just gets it off, what the hell is the point of this? Even then, right, like, he didn't have buyback last team fight. And in fact, hold on a minute, the boulder smash from Fenrir, they want to go after Io, but he is out safely. In fact, no, he's not. The roll in, Fenrir, he gets the Yules off. Is there any help that's going to come in? They're walking eventually, but in the backlines there's a team fight going on, and Lanham's gone. No golden drop was there in time. Now the Eclipse was committed as well. The Laguna Blade Io still being essentially kiting them around. He should end up dropping here. Meanwhile, Rock.Young maybe on there didn't get Io's boulder smash. Did not connect, roll in, will find Bane. And so his target should end up dropping. And now an ultimate again. Oh, the ball into the ancient. Oh, okay. That was a bit of a flashy. I mean, that's it.
Yeah, I mean,